Hi, my name is Amy. I'm here at Kairos Studios. Thanks for joining me for this 10-minute workout. We're going to be focusing on knee health. I'm going to give you some exercises and some stretches to do, utilizing 3 props if you have these at home. So the first prop is going to be a long foam roller. And then we've also got a yoga block, and I've also got a rubber band here. So I'm going to place the yoga block and rubber band to the side for now and come onto the IT band or outer band of the side of the leg there. Come into a forearm plank. Extend that bottom leg out and bend to the top knee, placing the foot in front of that bottom leg. And just glide up and down that side band. You'll feel the roller pressing into the leg, relieving you of some tension that you might be feeling in there. So we're going to do that. Come off and come onto the other side. And you can come back to this on your own time and spend a little bit more on any areas that feel any extra tension or that have any knots in them. And you can spiral your leg out and inward. So we've done both IT bands. Now I'm going to roll over onto the quadriceps, making that roller glide up and down, doing a forearm plank. Now if you're able to glide the shoulders forward and back, you'll feel the roller cascading up and down the center of the quads. If you'd like to get a little bit more onto one side of the quad, you can always lean onto one leg, propping yourself up, of course. I'm going to do the other side here. You can see it from the back view where I'm just getting a little bit of that outer edge of the quad there. And then I'm going to come off of the roller, roll it back to the center of my mat, and I'm going to sit on top of that roller because we're going to roll out a bit of the glutes here. So with the knees bent, heels are pressing into the mat, and I'm sitting forward of my sits bones, those bony protrusions, on that roller here. I'm going to take my hands, I'm going to place them behind the roller, and I'm just going to begin to glide the roller forward and back, up and down along the center of my glutes. And then what we can do is we can rotate onto one side, the outer side of one of the glutes, the glute med, and find a little bit more direct roller pressure on that area of the glutes. All the way up and down. And again, notice where your sticky points are, those more intense points of tension. And then come back to them. This can be done multiple times a day. I'm going to walk onto that other glute med, back and forth a couple of times. And then return back to center. And just feel a little bit of my weight pressing down into the roller, getting one last little bit of glute work there. Hop off that roller. I'm going to set the roller aside. We're going to use that roller later. And now I'd like to actually ask you if you have a band to put it over your legs, just right above the knees there. So just an inch or 2 above the knees. And we're going to come into a side lying position for some clams. Okay, so you can either extend your arm all the way out, resting your ear on it, or prop yourself up, head in hand. Make sure that your spine is in a straight line and that the knees are bent, heels together. We're just going to clam open. Pressing the inseams of the feet together as we open and close that top knee. Now, if you find that your top hip is falling back, then maybe you take that top hand and you press the hip forward. So we're trying to build abductor strength here, which is an important stabilizer for the leg. Couple more here. And then I'm going to lift that heel. So now my knee and my heel are going to stay in a parallel line with the floor. I'm going to lower the shin and leg and lift it back up, trying to keep the knee and ankle in the same alignment. Again, that top hip is stacked right over that bottom hip. 2 more. And 1 more. So now I'm going to lower my leg so that my knee and my shin are in line with my hip. We're going to do something called like a donkey kickback. So I'm going to keep that knee bent, flex that heel, and send the heel back behind the body. and then bring the knee forward and extend back as if you were trying to kick something that was behind you. Again, keeping that top hip as stable as you can. The core will help do that, so pull that belly button into the spine. We'll do 2 more. And last one. Lower that top leg, press yourself up to a seated position. And let's make our way for the other side. So again, lining yourself up in whatever position works for you. Heels together, we're gonna clamp. Top hip stays stacked on that bottom hip. Feeling the outer glute med there working, abductor working. 3, 2, 1, lift the heel. Shin and knee are parallel to the floor. We're gonna lift and lower. Lift and lower. Don't let that hip fall back. You should be burning by now. Second side is always a little more challenging because we've already had to use that bottom leg for stability. 1 more. Lower the knee, hip height. We'll do our donkey kicks. Flex that foot. Send that heel back. And then control it as you glide the knee over the bottom. Kick it back. Keep that core and pelvis still. The top hands can be an anchor for you if you just reach it down in front of the abdominals, stabilizing it into the mat. 1 more. All right, close those legs. Let's make our way onto our back for some bridging. Okay, feet are hip width apart. Now, if you notice that you tend to allow your knees to fall inward towards the midline of the body, you can put this band and keep this band on. If you notice that when you're standing and things that your legs tend to fall to the outsides, then you can take a block and place it in between the thighs and squeeze in to get those abductors working. So for now, I'm going to set that block aside and I'm going to show you how to work those abductors. So the arms are pressed into the mat. We're going to lift our hips off of the mat into a straight line. Feet are pressed firmly into the mat. The knees are tracking right out of the hips and over my ankles. And then I'm going to pull them open and I'm going to tap my hips down. And I'm going to keep those knees pulling to the sides. So I'm trying to, again, to work my abductors, abductors. If you've got that block in between the thighs, you're squeezing inward to try and work those inner thighs, your adductors. Just do 2 more here. Last one. And we are going to roll down. All right, single leg stretch. So with the band is an option for you. You can also take the band off and do this on your own. You're going to pull the knees into the shins. Pull the head and neck off the mat. Send one leg forward on a diagonal and pull the opposite knee in towards the ribs. The knees are going to have to glide past one another as you switch. Don't let the inner thighs touch each other. Try and keep the legs tracking straight out of the hip sockets. We'll do 2 more. We pull that knee in with both hands. Last set here. Sometimes that band has a mind of its own and it migrates. We'll just work with it. Pull both knees into the ribs, lower the head. All right, let's take that band off. Rock ourselves up to a seated position. Flip over onto our bellies, setting that band aside. We're gonna do a little bit of swimming. Make sure you have enough room on your mat. Your forehead is down, the legs are hip width apart. We're gonna lift one leg and the opposite arm, reaching them forward, and then switch. You can keep one hand and one foot pressing down and then switch, or you can keep all 4 limbs up in the air as you swim. Swim, 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 swim. And then we're going to stop. We're going to lower all of our limbs, crossing one forearm on top of the other. Rest the forehead gently on that top forearm. Draw your heels together so your knees are still hip width apart. You're going to press the pubic bone down into the mat and then lift the knees and thighs off. So we're working a bit of the glute strength here. You should not feel this in your low back if you're drawing your pubic bone deep into the mat. So we're just lifting and squeezing those heels together. 3, 2, last one. Lower the legs down. Make your way into a quadruped position. Grab a hold of your block. We're gonna take the block. We are gonna place it under one shin. Come into quadruped. Make sure that that kneecap is off. That foot is bent onto the mat. Extending that opposite leg out. So you should feel balanced and supported on your yoga block. Hands under the wrists and shoulders. And we're gonna lengthen that leg and we're gonna lift and lower. Gaze at the top of your mat. We'll do 4. 1 more. And then we're gonna bird dog. We're just gonna hold this here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Replace the hand and foot. Come off that yoga block. Let's do the other side. Knee over that yoga block. Extending that opposite leg. We lift and lower. Lift and lower. Working that hamstring and glute connection. Keep the core engaged. 1 more. We're going to hold that leg. Reaching the opposite arm forward. Hold that bird dog for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down. Remove that yoga block. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work on our lunges. We're going to take the roller, if you need it for balance. We'll place the roller to one side. I'm going to face you sideline. I'm going to teach you how to get into a really good split squat position here. So staggering your stance. Front leg slightly bent. You're going to lean onto your roller if you need it for balance and take a giant step back. We want that front knee to be right over the bottom ankle. Nice 90-degree bend everywhere. We're just going to lower down and lift and lower and lift. That knee is tracking straight ahead over that middle toe. The hips are square to the front of the mat, and we're trying to sit as tall as possible. All right, and then I'm going to press off of the ball of the back foot, come upright, switch sides with my roller, send that opposite leg back, and come into that 90-degree bend at the knees and squat. So when you lower and lift, you should feel that front heel really pressing and firing up into the floor. 2 more. Last one. And we'll rise up. I'm going to set my roller aside, show you some gentle squats. You can use your band or your block depending on what you need. I'll just show you how the squats are done. So our knees are hip width apart. They're tracking over those center toes. I'm going to stick my glutes back and keep my chest upright and squat. And squeeze the glutes and inner thighs to feel the lift. We're pressing in the backs of the feet. Don't allow yourself to teeter forward. And come to your lowest squat position and rise up. Keep those knees, again, tracking straight forward. Don't let them fall in. Don't let them splay out. 2 more. And we're done. Rise all the way up. Thank you so much for joining me today for this knee workout. I hope that you stay healthy, stay happy and active, and join us back here at Kairos Studios. We'll see you again soon. Take care.